City is in the man-up situation.
So the man-up now gives Garden City a chance to add to their lead. 11-5 with 7:15 to go. Bouncer having trouble, and Del Olio bounced it right back toward Matkowski.
I don't think Jimmy Del Olio thought that he had enough time. He had time to be able to take that into his into the cross and take the shot.
Incredible statistic right there. 36-8. Man is out of the box. Finnerty drives it, and it goes out. So in spite of that huge total disparity, they still were able to score in 5 of their 8 shots that they've had. And Doc Doherty, close to win number 201 in his first state title. But that's an interesting figure that they scored on 5 of the 8 shots that they had and still were in the game.
That's a great shooting percentage. Great shooting percentage. I'm sure their coach, Randy Garrett, would love to have them taking more shots, keeping that percentage up.
All right, as we watch Cavote beat his man. Score.
Beautiful. Did you see how he protected his stick? He just tucked that stick right in close to his body so the defenseman couldn't get a check in on it.
So the Fairport defense, Larry, that had given up only 5 goals a game, being burned 12 goals, and we still have 6:53 to go in the 4th quarter.
Garden City beats you so many ways. It's incredible. They beat you one-on-one when they want to, and otherwise they move the ball fast. Their passes are crisp. They beat you on face-offs, big checkers, and clear well on defense. They're just so complete.
Let's see if we can see Mickey Cavote. He does a great job here. Here he has the ball. He goes one-on-one with his defenseman. Watch him tuck the stick right in here, and he takes the shot to the far post.
And to make matters worse, Krause, of course, will be gone next year, and he wins that one. He'll be doing that for Virginia next year. Ironically, he and Chris Wakely, the outstanding midi on Ward Melville, will be roommates next year at Virginia. So they're going to be a very strong club indeed, with a couple of Long Island players added to their team. But Long Island youngsters, as we see Malchione scoop it down the side, go out of bounds, have really done a great job in North Carolina. Tamillo and the likes of others that have helped North Carolina from Ward Melville and other schools here in the island.
I think certainly the Long Island lacrosse players have a reputation of being one of the finest lacrosse players in the country, and there's no doubt about it that the coaches from all over, from the South, from Virginia, and from North Carolina, they do a lot of recruiting up on Long Island because these players are highly respected.
Well, we'd like to see, selfishly, maybe some more of these kids stay home and play at Garden City, of course, at Adelphi and CW Post and St. John's and Hofstra, but a lot of the good ones do play here. Of course, here's Koch working behind. 12-5 Fairport, trailing by 7. 6 minutes now to go as Steve Young, tightly guarded, bounces one over Mangano's head, and they have a backer there, and they'll retain possession. You know, when you consider that Garden City lost the likes last year, gentlemen, of James Coster, who's a midfielder for North Carolina, the NCAA champion. They lost Paul Basile and Brian Sullivan playing at Navy. Peter Bennett, Jim Hannon, Mark Burchell, John Fuller, all at Hobart, the Division III champ. And here they are dominating in the state playoff. It is an incredible story and a tribute to the program, as you said, Larry, at Garden City and to Doc and his coaching staff.
That's very true. Now, you couldn't be happier for Doc right now, though. I think, Garden City was the class of the county last year. And when they got beat by West Genesee, I think he felt that he had to represent all Nassau County for us. And this time he's coming back and winning a big one.
Here's Cavote being chased outside by the big stick over there. John Winship rides him out. And a good check there. We'll give the ball back over to Fairport. But anyway, Fairport having a tough time psychologically as well as physically. They've just been outplayed by Garden City. I think they haven't been quick enough, and I think that quickness really has stood Garden City in good stead.
Well, I think that we're seeing the Garden City team really have one of its great days today. And if you have to have a great day, what better day to have it than when you're playing for the state championship? But they've done just everything right. Their passing has been just superb. Their rides have been excellent, and we're watching their ride right now. And Fairport has had some difficulty with it all day long. And
as Jeff Hebert brings it across, he's got an opportunity here. He's on that second midfield unit. He'll whip it behind to Koch.
That was a nice look. That was a nice feed, and the Fairport player should have had the opportunity, and that was Kyle Miller, who should have had that ball and taken the shot.
Now the defense trying to get involved here. Keith Valley, 42. Over to Kyle Miller, 40. That's Hebert, 30, sending it behind to Steve Young. Watched by Blair. Good move away from Melchione by Koch. Mangano got a piece of it.
Nice save by Kenny Mangano. He played that ball real well. And that's, I think you see the advantage. There was our left-handed goalkeeper, and it paid off for him there.
Here's Kraus dropping it off to Cavoti in front. Score for Tommy Duran. So the crease attackman gets his second goal of the game. They get it from everybody on this club. Doc Doherty says, I like it. I like it fine. That's goal number 13. That's what they were averaging earlier in the year, but here in the playoffs the last few games, it's been 6 or 7.
And this is Garden City's game, the transition game, the fast break game, and they find Duran on the wing in an open position, and there he takes a shot right over Matkowski. That was a high shot into the upper left-hand corner, and Matkowski couldn't quite come up with the save.
Garden City going to make a lot of changes here. They're putting in second stringers. Timmy Brown has checked in a defense along with number 36 Gavin Coleman, the junior defenseman. And the seniors, the starters get a big hand as they go to the bench. What a job. You got to compliment that defense. You see 35 Johnny Blair, Melchione 33, Greg Leader 40. The unsung defense. No one talked about the Garden City defense at the beginning of the year, and they have been a big story certainly late in the season and in the playoffs.
And it's going to be great to see Melchione back next year for Garden City with Greg Leader. They're going to be tough on D next year too.
Indeed, 2 of those fellas return. John Blair is a senior, and he'll be going to Villanova. We wish him well. Now Garden City makes more changes, and we'll try to keep you abreast of all the changes. The second midfield unit is in. McMahon's got it. Over to Doyle with 3:40 to go. Garden City with a commanding 8-goal lead here in the New York State Championship. The Class B champions, Jamesville DeWitt from the Syracuse area. Congratulations to them as it's bounced again. They try to go high on the little guy. That's been successful as McMahon shot. He stopped. And here's Miller. Check it, number 10, as they bring it down. In front, Koch. And he'll get the easy goal as he waited for the goalie to commit. And the score makes it right now 13-6.
That was a nice fast break also for Fairport, Barry. They cleared the ball well out of their defensive zone, and they got into the transition real well, and they helped each other out and got the nice shot. Here we'll see it again. Here's the pass. We'll see the assist go to number 11, and we take number 34. Jeff Koch gets the shot, nice low shot, and Mangano not able to stop it, as all goalkeepers find it tough to stop the bounce shots on the artificial surface.
Well, to show you the balance of this Garden City club, gentlemen, 5 Garden City players have 2 goals apiece. Tommy Duran, Andy Kraus, Chris Sullivan, Jay McMahon, and Paul Tully.
Again, that's balance, and you can't key in on just one Garden City player, not when anybody else on that team can score.
All right, and here they go again. Kraus winning the face-off. They look for more. In front, score! And they get the big goal here from number 30, Shep Poole, a junior midi. Number 30, his second goal of the year, Shep Poole, and what a thrill that's got to be for him.
He's got to feel great right now. All he did on that last goal was redirect it. That's all he did on that, but he's got to feel great. And Fairport's putting in their 3rd goalie here. Here's the replay on that. There it is, right into Mr. Poole. Shep Poole making the goal here. We'll see it from another angle, right off of the face-off, and we'll catch it perhaps in just a second, as we see a lot of changes being made by Garden City.
Fairport's new goalie will be number 2, Bob Wright. As Matkowski sits down, he's got to be a little disappointed. Fairport moving in, looking for a goal here. Oh, and the youngster just scored. Or check it, just a couple of moments ago, number 30 getting the shot off was Jeff Hebert, and he got checked. And it'll be Fairport ball. They trail 14-6, 2:59 to go. And we'll try to give you those Garden City changes in a moment. Trojans playing with a lot of subs. And as they come out with it, number 28 has it, James Perduto, a junior midi. Or senior midi.
And we also have a penalty on the play, so we'll see Fairport go into the man-up situation, Barry. That was a slash, I believe. And
we also have a new goalie over there, and that is Mr. Costello, Tommy Costello, who has played well at times this year, given an opportunity. He's good in the cage, needs some work clearing, and there's the young man Fox, who was injured before and getting consoled, I guess, from a member of his family. You know, the Fairport players did wear something on their helmets today, Kerry, in memory of the students who died in that car crash on the way to their game the other day.
Right, we see a black patch right on the front of each of the players' helmets, symbolizing the death of the students.
2:35 to go. Fairport up as they have made a lot of changes too, giving a lot of chances to their boys. Kenny Warner, number 21, in on attack. That one is picked up by Peter Friedrich, number 35. And as they try to play it, it gets away, and the ball goes back over to the youngsters from Garden City. So the Trojans of Garden City going to go 25-0. And for Doc Doherty, over the last 2 years, 48-2. The only 2 losses he suffered last year to West Jenny and to Levittown Division. He avenged those losses to Jimmy Amon's club this year.
Yes, he did, and he's had a great year with a great team right here, Barry.
And as we said, a lot of these kids will be back for Doc Doherty. Lost 11 of 13 of the key players from last year. He will lose only 1 attackman of his starting 4. He'll have Chris Sullivan back. He'll have James Delolio is the only senior who's graduating of the attack. He'll have Mickey Cavoti back, Tommy Duran. In midfield, he'll have Joe Griffith back. He'll have Jay McMahon. He'll have Rob Finity. And he'll have Mike Doyle. And on defense, he'll have Melchione back, along with a couple of others. As now they
Greg Leader being one.
That's right.
As long as he doesn't have Andy Kraus back, I'm happy.
All right, Costello will probably be the goalie next year. Larry Glenn's. You have them on your schedule next year, Larry?
Yeah, they'll always be on our schedule.
Lynbrook coach Larry Glenn's. They had a super year. Lost to Elmont, the Nassau and Long Island B champs, by a goal in overtime. Game, Larry, you'll relive, I'm sure, throughout the winter.
That's for sure.
Larry Glenn's club was leading in that game 6-4 with about a minute and a half to go in the 3rd quarter. And Elmont staged one of the most dramatic comebacks in Long Island lacrosse history. 1:29 to go here as the Fairport Red Raiders have the ball. Eric Lockington sends it behind to Mike McCabe, number 18. McCabe, a little guy, out in front, knocked away, and it'll still be a Red Raider ball. We'd like to thank so many people throughout the year for helping our telecast. Apple Bank for savings. President Jerry McDougall, their 5 branches on Long Island, and the managers of those branches for their great cooperation. And those branches are in Manhasset, along with Syosset and Massapequa, as well as in Suffolk and Smithtown, and in Green Lawn. I want to thank Apple Bank for their fine support. And earlier you heard from Professor Greg Gutman from Adelphi University, along with St. John's, sponsors throughout the season on the Long Island Sports Network. And we'll be back with you in the fall with football and soccer as well. And Kerry, I know you're looking to soccer coverage too.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to that. And Barry, while we have the moment here, I'd like to thank you and Bob DePoto and Frank Cortali and the rest of Cablevision for doing a great job on covering high school sports.
And thank you very much, Kerry. It's been a pleasure working with you. And Larry Glenn's, thank you, representing the coaches for the fine support we've had all year, not only in the sport of lacrosse, but in every sport. Coaches, suddenly you invade the school with the entourage of television. You're not used to it. Your time is taken up by a lot of questions that you haven't been asked before. And on behalf of all the coaches, I want to thank you for the splendid cooperation we've had.
Thank you very much, Barry. It's been a pleasure.
Time out on the field with 42 seconds to go, and throughout the year we've had help in sports information. Frank Cortali, who joined us late last season, a super job heading the crew of statisticians.
That's easy for you to say, Barry.
That's easy for me to say. And again, Bob DePoto and the rest of our crew and the athletic directors throughout Nassau and Suffolk County. Well, for the final time, we'll take a look at the Nassau County poll, and as you would expect, Garden City #1. They'll be #1 in the state after today's victory. Elmont #2, and your Lynbrook club ranked #3, and really fitting that all 3 clubs played such tight games. Lynbrook lost by 1 goal to this Garden City team you're watching today. Lost to Elmont by 1 goal, and certainly you could have been a champion yourself, Larry, not to belabor the point. The rest of the top 10, you see, a lot of good clubs, a lot of B schools. And Larry, there's been some talk that maybe there should be a tournament again, as Suffolk does, that has a county champion declared and still have the A and B small and big school. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think it would be nice. It's difficult. We had trouble finding a format for that because we have so many good B schools.
That's a good point. And you'll knock each other off along the way. And eventually the team, I guess, that would be remaining, the last B school to lose, would represent the B schools, or if they ever lost. All right, we're just about winding it down. 28 seconds to go. While we're thanking a lot of people, I want to thank my son Greg and his friend Paul Fierstadt for their help up in the booth, fetching sodas and just doing a super job in whatever we've asked them to do. So thank you, boys. 25 seconds to go. Costello looking for help, throwing it down as they try to cheap clear it. And it cannot be kept in as the ball rolls out of bounds. Don't
Garden
forget,
City, I think, almost caught Fairport defense sleeping there with that cheap clear, figuring that they would probably try and hold it, and Garden City cheaping it down.
now Fairport's closest they've been in this game, 2-1 first quarter, and then Garden City just rolled it open 7-1, and 8-5 was the other opportunity that they had early in the fourth quarter, and then just Garden City has totally dominated from that point, scoring 6 of the next 7 goals. Down to 7 seconds as the Garden City Trojans have the clock stopped. Doc Doherty just got creamed on the sideline. Some happy supporters. He got doused. Doc's chawed tobacco may be falling out there, Kerry.
Oh, I don't know if he'll make it through the rest of the game without that tobacco.
Well, his voice hasn't been too good as they'll take a shot here. Costello goes wide, 2 seconds, 1, and it stops at 1. Still a second to go. The crowd ready to explode.
I think you could do anything to Doc Doherty right now. He wouldn't care.
Now it's over. Doc Doherty shakes hands with one of the other coaches on the sideline. The youngsters are out there. The fans are cheering. And Garden City has brought a championship back to Long Island, a state title for the first time in years. And there's the man that helped lead him. Doc Doherty, as he shakes hands with a lot of folks on the sideline. Bob Allen, the athletic director, very proud, as well as the entire Garden City community that have come out and supported this team so well in so many of the games that they played here in the playoffs.
Well, they've got a great following, and, you know, success breeds success, Barry, and, you know, they're going to have a great team, and they have a great coaching staff and a great group.
Look what he's got in that left hand of his. He's got the ball. You know, his son played on his team a couple of years ago, Sean Doherty. He's an outstanding football player and lacrosse players down at Penn, and I guess Sean feels pretty proud of his dad, as do the other Dohertys, including his wife, Linda, and his daughters, Shannon and Blaine. Shannon down at Florida State, and Blaine, a high school student.
Now, I'm sure everybody in the Garden City community as well is very proud of Doc and the job that he's done this year with this Garden City team.
Yeah, they're all excited. They're going to line up, shake hands with the opposition in just a moment. Fairport, a game club, came down here with a lot on their minds and a chance at a title, and Garden City has outplayed them, winning by a final score of 14-6. And as Andy Krause gets congratulations from the officials, this one is history, and we'll be back with our Apple Bank player of the game and a chat with the winning coach, if he can still talk, Doc Doherty, in just a moment. You've been watching Championship High School Lacrosse on Cable Vision. Gary, here's a free pass to our next game.
Thanks, Barry, and here's something free for you, a free Apple Bank checking account.
Free?
Absolutely free. No monthly maintenance charges, no per check charges, nothing.
I can write all the checks I want at no cost?
The only charge you'll get is out of Apple Bank's fine service, and we'll pay you 5.25% interest on balances of $700 or more.
Apple Bank for savings. We're good for you.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
We're back, Barry Landers, with a smiling Doc Doherty finally. A little bit of a smile. Doc, it's taken a while. Long Island has a lacrosse champion. Last time was 79 Sachem. First time for Nassau County since 77 when Elmont won it. Congratulations. Just a superb effort by your club, capping a great season.
Thank you very much. We're happy for ourselves, but we're very happy we're able to bring back a state championship to Long Island.
Doc, as far as the club was concerned, you had a couple of tough games along the way. The Hicksville game, you had a rally to win that. Ward Melville, you down 4-1. And I think today you just had everything going right. Mangano made the big saves. You got balance. 5 different players scored 2 goals apiece. Midfield attack, defense. Melchione was all over the place on Sudan. Everything worked right.
Well, we've played very good defense, which enabled us to get here. We knew we had the explosive offense, We faced a couple of zones. We love when we face man-to-man. It opens it up for us. We have very good athletes, and we're well-balanced. You really can't shut down any one kid.
Doc, if anyone said to you back at March 1st at Garden City we're going to be the state champs, what would you have said?
No way. No way at all. We were rebuilding. These kids came a long way in 1 year, and I'm really proud of them.
Was there any particular game that you really felt was the turning point, that they really matured? Because you did have a lot of young players playing for you this year.
Well, I think what woke us up the most was almost losing to Hicksville. We scored 4 goals in the last 5 minutes. I think maybe it showed the kids that they were vulnerable and they could be beat. I think it helped us come back in Ward Melville. It made us play better.
How does the state championship team of 1986 compare to the team from 1985 that had such great players?
I don't know, but the kids from 1985 would like to play the kids from 1986. And if they ever did, they still couldn't have Krause.
All right, Doc Doherty, a very happy man, coached the conference football champion last year, winds up a great year. Congratulations, Doc.
Thank you very much.
All right, standing by with one of the reasons why they're here, the guy they call the Red Rat. He's a super player, a superhuman being. Andy Krause standing by with Carl Reuter.
Thanks very much, Barry, and here he is live and in color, the Red Rat. What can you do for an encore?
I don't know. Hopefully go down to Virginia and get a collegiate championship.
All right, 2 goals this afternoon. You won 21 of 23 face-offs. Another spectacular game, but for Andy Krause, it just seems like it becomes more and more routine.
No, it still feels great. You can't beat the state championships.
Are you on cloud 9 right now?
Oh yeah, I don't know when the shock of winning the state championship is going to come and hit me, but it feels great right now.
Rumor has it that your brother Steve can still beat you on the face-off.
No
True
way.
or false?
False.
Would you be willing to go out there right now with Steve and face-off?
Definitely.
You'd like that. You're going to follow in his footsteps down in Virginia. How long can this last right now, this state title? You're going to dream about it right through the end of the summer until you go down to Virginia?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Andy, every day that you come into a ball game, everybody knows you're the best face-off man, maybe even in the country, as your AD, Bob Allen, has alluded to. Do you do anything special? You just go out there and dig in and say, hey, I'm the best and nobody's going to win a face-off from me?
Yeah, that's all I do. I just do the same thing. Every now and then I change a little bit, but I work on it all through the week.
You're a team player. You really don't care about individual goals. I know you like to score the goals and it makes you happy, but you're more of a team player. You like that?
Yes, I do. I like passing it off and getting like the second pass in for a goal, stuff like that.
Where did that come from? Within you, from your brother or Coach Doherty, or what?
Probably through everyone, just growing up, all the different coaches and my brothers, I guess.
Well, I think you're going to do some rocking and rolling tonight in Garden City. Congratulations on the Applebank MVP. He was also named the MVP, offensive MVP for the state tournament, Andy Krause. Best of luck down in Virginia.
Thank you.
All right, Andy Krause, Applebank MVP. Now let's go back over to Barry and Carrie for a final word.
You know, Carrie, MVP, offensive MVP, you got to talk about a little bit about Garden City. Keith Melchione, of course, had the Outstanding Defensive Player Award, and it was a matter of the entire team coming together at the crucial time.
And they played with a tremendous intensity. The whole defense, the offense, the midfield, everybody did their job, and they played like champions, every one of them. They were, virtually mistake-free almost all game.
And you've got to admire the courage of a Fairport team to come back from the tragedy of having their friends and former teammates on the football team, so many of them get killed in a car crash on the way to the game.
Well, they played with a great deal of heart. They did experience that tragedy, and I think that there's a lot of credit to be said for the Fairport team just coming down all the way from Fairport to Long Island to play this game.
So congratulations to Garden City. They bring a Long Island championship, part of the New York State, back to the island once again. It's been a great year for Carrie Gluck. Carrie, it's so much fun working with you.
It's been great, Barry. I've loved every minute of it, and I can't wait to next year.
All right, so for Carrie Gluck, smiling Carl Reuter, super statistician Frank Cortali, and sports information director, the rest of the folks here on the island, Bob DeFoto, Rich Martinetti. This is Barry Landers always saying, free Applebank. Good afternoon once again. The final score, Garden City 14 and Fairport 6. So long, everybody. Well, for the first time in 10 months, we don't have any upcoming games to tell you about. The long season is over, and we hope you've enjoyed our coverage of high school sports, Liberty Conference football, and St. John's basketball. In September, we'll be back for our 7th season of covering the area's finest athletes on Cablevision, including Garden City. Until then, have a good summer, and so long, everybody. Our Cablevision game has been brought to you by Applebank for Savings.
We're good for you, and by Adelphi University.